Hi guys, and welcome to another podcast. Do you want to see my little radio? Oh, yes. Got that on AliExpress. Always need a radio. I actually saw one of my YouTubers using their CB radios, and I was like, yeah, you guys would have seen that on their last channel. Fun. You must also have CB radios. It's very good to have. Don't trust that a mobile phone's always going to do you okay. They're very good. Very good. Anyway, and so are radios. Oh, and it's retro. See how the wood look is so nice, and it's got the leather strap. Anyway, I'll have a play with that on my balcony when I have my downtime. Hi, topic is... I don't even like the word get off my table. Get off my table. No, get down. Do I have to get my talking stick to get you down? This is Riley. He's been cat trained. He's a kitten. He's doing good. Okay, you just chill there then. On my lunch table. No worries. Only you can see him. He's too cute. Nice. You're falling off? Okay. Kittens. Right, back to ADHD brain. Cheers. Get yourself a beverage. Have a seat, listen to the podcast. You don't have to watch the podcast. You can just listen to the podcast. It's your choice. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I ain't your mama. Okay, that didn't really work out very well, did it? Right, so excuse my hair. It's a mess. It's even more curly than normal. Okay, you've discovered the little... my brain is, I know what this is called, aerial. How could I forget that? Right, get down. Get down. Good boy. Sorry, but I'm not letting him jump on my... That's actually my lunch table, so I'm trying to train him that tables where you eat is not really for cats. So basically... Nay, Bubba. Basically, bullying is a name. Trolling is a name. Cancellation is a name. Oh, come on, youngins, give me some names. All of those things. That happens not just online, happens in life. Yeah. Psychology here, the science type. I'm not a clinical. Please don't think that I can diagnose, help you in any shape or form. I've done counselling units, but it's not my forte for a reason. I'm autistic. Plus, just to be blunt here, I just don't have it in me because you know why? I started off in welfare, which is kind of like social work. I care too much and I get burnt out. So I can't be that person, but I do hold space for anyone that has been so severely either bullied, cancelled or whatever. I really hold a space for you in a special way because I, as a special needs child, adult, I can relate in many ways. And with the rare syndrome, medically, do you think they like me? No, because they all feel stupid because I have a syndrome that's rare. So, you know, the ego is big on that one. I've only really got like a few good specialists and a good GP. So the rest of them are just, they're just embarrassed. Okay, I know the psychology on that one. They're just embarrassed. They don't know. And also there's a little bit of like, whoops, we missed that one. I was diagnosed a little too late. And scramble, things happen. Anyway, let's digress. From there, digress. It's not the word. Now, autism, right, let's talk about that for a minute to all you autistics so that I want to really speak to you, especially anyone younger than me, because if you're older than me, you probably look at me going, I know, darling, I know. And you probably know more than me. But I'm just saying, like, autism is a difference, but I also consider it personally, I consider it as disability. If you don't, I totally agree with you too, because I see both sides of that. I don't consider it a disorder. Oh, no, I don't. I don't even think it should be in the DSM, like Tony Atwood says. I don't think it should be. It's not a mental illness. It is a different brain structure, like my ADHD as well. 70% of autistics have ADHD or ADD. So just know that. ADHD is the umbrella term for ADD as well. So know that. Know your DSM. Well, I studied it. It helps. But I'm just saying, like, the DSM-5 has changed a lot, so I'm just explaining that. Now, if you don't see it as a disability, I respect that, but for me it is. For me, it causes daily struggles. For some, it doesn't. For others, it does, but they still don't consider it a disability. It's totally your choice. I am not someone who believes we should all think the same. I'm not one of them. But I am one of the ones that thinks we should be able to agree to disagree if someone gets a little heated on something and says, no, there's only one way to see it, and that's it's a disability only. It's like, well, no, let's show some respect there. No, some people might not say that their autism is a disability, and that's fine. Jeez. So, do you understand? And also, it's very difficult to see with this because what happens to autistics the most, and people with disabilities other than autism as well? Bullying, lack of acceptance, change. You need to change. You need to be normal, because apparently normal is the only acceptable way of being. We all know the ableism screaming out there at the moment. It's been revved up with all the other isms, hasn't it? Yes, it has. And as an autistic here, I can speak intellect, but don't expect me to go off script here because I'll get lost. Socially, I am dumb. I get tricked all the time and people go, and I'm like, again? I should know that one by now. That's 1,154 times that's been said to me right now. And I fell for it again. That's me. Nice to meet you. I don't shake hands. Right. And I also have PDA. Yep. I like to call it the like one other autistic called it on the tube, the YouTube. She's a very clever girl, younger than me and very, very amazing. And she said it like you know, brain. Sorry, I have not had a good brain lately since that seizure. Basically she said that it's just escaped my brain. It's going to come back, so let's wait for that to loop back. But basically, with autism, it is we can come across with the masking very well, but take us off script. This is my special interest. So you're going to look at me and go, oh, she knows so much. I must chat with her more in depth. Be careful. I might end up being a shark out of water. You know, when you're playing Marco Polo or whatever, and it's like fish out of water. Fish out of water. Do you hear my anxiety? Oh, PDA. So I like to call PDA persistent demand for acceptance for my independence way of thinking. Does that make sense? Way of acting, really. But you know what I mean? I like the concept of barley time. Oh, you put a demand on me? Nah, ain't gonna get done. I'm gonna be like, the stubborn shield is gonna come on. I'm gonna go, nope, fuck you. Don't tell me what to do. Now, I know that to be socially acceptable, because I'm autistic, I get taught these things since I can remember. It is not socially acceptable. Okay, you've explained it. I agree with you. Must change my behaviour. I've done that. I will go to that appointment and I will do that thing, because that's the thing to do. You have to do it, right? We all have responsibility. And I do my responsibility, but I'm not talking about that. Okay, I'm the most ridiculously overly responsible person you can meet. I annoy myself with it. I put too much like pressure on myself to the point where I could be like almost having a seizure and have an appointment, and I'll go, yeah, let's go. And my partner will be saying, are you kidding me right now, you idiot? It'll pass. No, He thinks I'm crazy. Like, not that way, in a funny way. Okay? So basically, I'm a PDA. Yep, I am. Right? I like to be independent. I'm a very high achiever. Every job I've ever had, every study I've ever done, I have been praised. I've been given commendations by the head of psychology. I have been praised that I do a good job. So I've got no issue with that. The problem is, and that's my study I did better at than jobs, because you get more flexibility of how and when you get it done. So if I want to procrastinate and do the dishes and vacuum, then mop, then play with my kids, then do my essay at 3 o'clock in the morning with a glass of wine and get a HD for it, because I did a better job, because I did it in my time when I was ready. I had preparation notes done. Don't be mean this night before crap. No, I didn't. I spent many hours in the library, many days reading and highlighting and then writing notes and then typing out those notes. Well, I'm old. Stop it. It takes about 30 hours to do an assignment, really, in all fairness. That's not just because of my learning disabilities. I have 3 of them. It's actually the way it is at university. It's brutal, right? Especially third year. But I'm just saying, like, if I can do it on my terms, I do better. And in workplaces, they kind of caught on to that a lot. And so they did give me very unique jobs that I actually got to do a little bit sort of, I would consider it better stuff, you know, where I got to really excel. I got to do, I don't know, like jobs that others weren't able to do because they didn't care about their job as much as I do. I think even though someone's got PDA, I actually think, guys, and they say this about sadness. A person who is intelligent experiences more sadness because they are aware of the truth of the world and how people treat us and how things are. Fact. Okay, I might be autistic and socially dumb, but I know when someone's mocking me. I know when someone is being mean to me. I know when they're disrespecting me. I know when they're overlooking me and ignoring me. I'm very aware of that. And it hurts. And it adds to the trauma of being autistic. And I'm not talking about generalized trauma here. I'm not even going to go there with that, because that's just not an issue for me. If it is for you, please seek the right, you know, information for that, or medical, I guess, psychological advice, whatever, from professionals. But I'm just saying, growing up autistic, even as an adult, because of our developmental delays, although I know 22Q are here, I'm a very developmentally delayed person. I'm learning slower than my peers. Do I come across like a 50-year-old, nearly 50-year-old? No, for a reason, because I'm not here. But it doesn't mean that I'm stupid. It doesn't mean that I can't speak for myself. It doesn't mean that my opinions don't matter, that my education level doesn't matter, that my achievements have no merit. It doesn't mean that at all. It doesn't. Even though the system wants to say that. It doesn't. I always have rights as a human being, rights as an autistic, rights as a disabled person, rights as a human. End of story. So I'm talking to people like you who have suffered breach of any of these things. Human rights, disability rights, rights of just being autistic and needing accommodations, needing your special needs to be like either not only acknowledged, but just things on your level. So a lot of us with autism have developmental problems or intellectual disabilities. And so we might need things explained differently. We might need things to be with auditory processing disorder. I need one thing to be explained at a time. I can't multitask, and it's not fair to ever think I can. I'm nearly 50. Trust me, I'm the most stubborn, determined person you've ever met. I left school in year 11 begging to stay, and I was supported by the school but not by my parents, to stay at school, repeat year 11, go to year 12, because I am not stupid just because I have 3 intellectual disabilities. No, I'm not stupid. Also, I have been to university and I've received high distinctions. I know I'm not stupid. I did a first year med unit and got a distinction for the whole unit. I'm not stupid. So basically, I know that when I need to learn something, I just need to learn differently. That's it. In all my special education classes, that's always what I was told. You can do this, you just need to learn differently and slowly. Still the same person today as I was as a kid. Still have 22Q, funny that. Still autistic, funny that. Still hyperactive, now called ADHD, funny that. Anyway. And I do have OCD. Many ways that shows up, and maybe I'll do a separate video on that, maybe, because that's complex. And I do have Tourette's. I just have it mild. You probably won't even notice it, but when you see me swearing like a truck driver, you'll probably go, oh, she's Tourette'sy today. You might hear it there, but I am not severe, so you're not going to see, except for the Tourette's attack I had, like what was on my other channel. That was after a sleep test, which they said to me it's a torture test as well. So don't worry. Yes, it might have broken you, but that's kind of quite possible because we broke you. Because that's what it's a sleep torture test. Oh, it was brutal. I'm telling you, when I got home and I came to my apartment, I was like, please, I don't want to see anyone. My hair was a mess. I had all this stuff in my hair from the wires, and it was like worse than Hermione. It was everywhere. I looked like this. I was so tired. And I'd eaten the wrong food, so I was very, feeling sick. I was lethargic. I get temperatures when I eat the wrong food. I literally get temperatures when I eat gluten. Go figure. Weird. Don't worry, my doctor's actually called me weird before, so it's okay if you do so. Because if I'm obviously medically weird, and I call myself, well, my autism used to be called weird, but we now know it's autism. But basically, let's talk about the bullying towards people who might be different, who might be special needs, which I consider myself because of 2 things, 22Q and autism. Okay, it's caused that. But it doesn't mean I'm stupid, and it doesn't mean that I don't know when people are being inappropriate to me. It doesn't mean I don't know my rights. I'm dyslexic and I struggle to read. That's one of my intellectual disabilities, guys. But I can read. I'm blessed. I can read. But it's very difficult. Comprehension, very difficult. But like I said, I entered school forcibly to help pay the mortgage. That was just my situation, and it sucked. And I was not set up for life. But I went back and I studied community studies, it's called in Australia now. Used to be called human services. Okay, and I did my diploma on the job. Then I was burnt out from the job because I cared too much, like I said. And I ended up in psychology at university and loved it. And the research particularly. So, basically, I have a lot of understanding of human behaviour, which helped me autistically. Hence why Tony Atwood says a lot of girls go into psychology. Boy, am I not surprised. When I read his book, I thought he'd been secretly studying me. I thought they've all been telling him. There's a whole group of us out there, like me, and they all tell him about us. He studies autism. Should I be surprised? But I'm telling you, when I read his book, I was like, I had to press pause at times. It's an audio book. I'm dyslexic. Because I was freaking out. I was like, yeah, that's so me. So basically, bullying happens to us. You know why? We're so close to being neurotypical. Just be it. Oh, how I have tried and tried. Most autistics in their 20s go, I got this, and they do, and then they get to their 30s and they go, I don't got this. So be real with yourself, even in your 20s. Please always push yourself, always excel. I'm not saying like don't give yourself challenges. If you're a person like me, you don't have to, but if you're a person like me and you want to excel in life and just really try too hard and be stupid, really, to be quite honest, to prove yourself because you grew up feeling like an idiot, you don't have to do that. But it taught me a lot, at least, doing that. And my stubbornness and determinedness has actually kept me very safe and sound mind, personally. So I don't actually feel bad about having that. And when you grew up in the country, you do kind of, even though my country town was a little soft, you do toughen up. Us people that grew up in the country, there is things that are different. You physically have to toughen up, therefore I think mentally that's connected. You know, when you go camping and you really get pushed, well, I don't feel like I do, but I've watched people that I've gone camping with, I've gone, oh, they're struggling already. Oh dear, how are they going to get through the rest of this? Because this is brutal. And I'm not talking about the nice camping. No, where you get to have a nice shower at the end of the day. Nope. I'm talking about showering, the non-showering kind, the pit toilet kind. You know, you just go down into a pit, and not like the good ones like they had in where I lived, where there's sawdust toilets where they actually don't stink, unlike the ones at these, you know, campsites that are rough. There's no shower. There's just a toilet with a pit. Trust me, as an autistic with very good senses, I can smell smoke 400 kilometers from me. I can. Just ask anyone. I can hear things from the other side of a house with the door closed of a bedroom or a lounge room or whatever. I can hear a noise in that room, and no one's believed me in the past, and they've gone in that room and they've gone, she was right. She was right. I have extra senses. So when autism is described as, oh, they're just sensory overloaded, they're a little bit sensitive. No, our senses neurologically have been high-tuned at birth too much. There's too much tuning, a bit like this, right? Our brains have been like overly, oh, you've got to go back the other way now, because there's only so far it goes, right? They get tuned up too high, and we're like, oh, can you turn it down? Whereas normies, neurotypicals, they don't have that problem. Now, not saying they don't have a sensory overload. I'm sure in their life they've gone to a concert and gone, oh, this is too much for me because I've got a bit of a headache. Everyone gets sensory overload to a certain extent, but you don't experience it like an autistic, trust me. Just go to the city with an autistic and get them to speak what they're experiencing. It's hell. You hear everything, you smell everything, the movement, the everything you're seeing, the colours or the shapes or the reflection of the light, like it's intense. And then someone's trying to talk to us and we're like, have conversation and all this input and have conversation. No, I'm getting grumpy now. And then the person goes, oh, what's wrong with you? And you're like, oh, I'm starting to lose words now. Sensory overload. You get pushed any further, you just end up in a meltdown. That's fun. Love those. I'm rather fond of them. No, I'm not. So basically, but PDA, that's a really good one. And I've learned a lot about that thanks to Tony Atwood, because I don't trust anything autistic until I hear it from him and a few others on YouTube. I will actually, I think there's a few I haven't subscribed to. Or check out my list on all of my autism links on this channel. They are all people that know autism, either by experience with an autistic, anecdotally as well, combination of both. And then you've got absolute people that are autistic and talk a lot about autism because they study that and then express that, and it helps me and it will help you, trust me. You can't understand yourself. You're only one person. You can't be neurotypical and autistic at the same time. We have to learn about ourselves. So just like a person does personal development, you should always do human development. You should always be aware of human development. It does help your life, quality of life. But I'm just saying, personal development, please do it from an autistic perspective. Please, because we are different how we input and receive information and how we put out information. So we can't read our own emotions, we can't read others' emotions. We have things like facial blindness. Oh, that is a bad one. Just that one alone. I can know someone for 30 years and they come walking up to me and I'm like, hey, who's that? Oh, hi. Oh, I know who you are. And every time I go, I'm an idiot. It's facial blindness. It's a thing, right? Neurological, probably. It's bloody annoying, and if we could get rid of it, we would. So that's another thing. So there's many things. Auditory processing disorder, like slowing down instructions, you know, especially in a school setting. When I was in special education, was what they would do just naturally for every child, because I guess the assumption was that we did have it, and we did. And I could only learn one thing at a time. I can't multitask. I get stressed if I have to multitask. That's why I think I've really fine-tuned my OCD, which is also in my family. Comes from my father. But basically, I'm very OCD, but I think that is compensated for the lack of executive functioning skills and the multitasking. So if I cook, for example, I am very prepared. Okay, I go over the top. I have everything ready to go. So I just go to station 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Even if I've cooked it 1,000 times. Even if I've cooked it repetitively. That's how we are. So basically, but PDA I want to talk about a lot, because I think that if you want to help someone with PDA, it's almost like a Montessori approach with that person. And you are going to cop a bit of defiance. But you know what? You can turn defiance into a positive. And I know that makes no sense to some of you, but you can. Cheers. Hot chocolate. It's too good. It's too good. It's too good. Chocolatey. So basically, you can turn that kind of... what do you call it? The word. Where'd the word go? The word was rebellion. Let's just replace it. I can't remember the word. Rebellion. Do you know that healthy teenagers rebel? You know why? Because they feel safe. They know that mum and dad or dad or whatever love them, that they can really screw up, and that mum and dad will be there to help them fix all that up and work through it later on, right? It's a safe thing. A child that doesn't rebel, you should be concerned about, actually, because it probably means that they know that they just make one mistake and their parent hates them and doesn't want them anymore. And believe me, that happens more than you think. So that's a thing. So it's the same with letting autistics, particularly with PDA, let them be a little bit like resistant, which actually builds resilience, resistant to things. You know why? They will find a way to get it done. They're just not going to do it on your terms. In Bali, if you went to that culture and you said, no, you said you'll be here at 4 o'clock and you're not. You turned up at 6 and that's not okay with me. That will be absolutely scolded in Bali, because their culture, Bali time, look it up, it's a thing. It would be considered rude. Does that mean that we should consider them rude? Because I don't. I respect that culture. I respect them. That's their choice. That's their culture. And autistics have our own culture too. We are not neurotypical. We're different. and part of our differences are. And PDA is not when you don't do anything. Normally, a PDAer will do it in their own time, in their own way, in their own style. They will do it. So if you're dealing with a PDA plus they never get anything done, I think you're dealing with something more than PDA. Personally, I think you're dealing with a behavioural problem possibly. Okay, done behavioural interventions in my studies at uni with my electives. I'm just saying, you're probably dealing with more of a behaviour problem. And who, even out of autism, autistics, please remember, neurotypicals don't behave well. Have you noticed? I have. I've noticed many neurotypicals behaving badly. I'm talking, whoa, you need some therapy. You need to be taught how to behave. Because that ain't okay, sister, brother. No. It's not cool with me. It's not cool with anyone in society, probably. Get that checked, please. So we are all human beings that can do those, have those flaws, do faults. No one is perfect. And if they tell you they are, just kind of go, what, you've never made a mistake? Oh, okay. That's concerning. Psychology here, that's concerning. Someone that's very honest, you can trust them. Someone that's got no shame on what they think. I mean, I'm not talking about people here too, by the way. They go, I'm honest and I don't apologize. No, if you're honest and you hurt someone's feelings, you bloody well damn will apologize. So I'm not talking about those kind of people. They're just, once again, bad behavior. Okay, so trolls, bullies, you're badly behaved. You need mental help. You have an underlying cause of why you're trolling, why you're bullying, why you're misbehaving in society. Because none of those things of bullying and there's so many different terminologies from cancelling, bullying, trolling, whatever. All of those negative things that fit with that. People that do that, you people are bad people. It's not an us problem, it's a you problem. And, you know, it's funny how most of them like to invalidate people with disability or autism. And we've seen that with the big autistics, as in the ones who have a platform which do great things. We must not forget that, and hope that they don't forget that. That I, myself, am eternally grateful for the advocacy that they do at the expense of their mental health sometimes because of the trolls. Well, know this, those trolls are mental. They need help. They really need help. They're so pissed off with their life. I mean, think about it. Who watches things and goes, hate that person, so I'm going to watch it and then I'm going to comment? Really? I've got a long list of things I got to do. I don't have time for that kind of behavior, and I wouldn't want to. Like, if I hate someone, like there's many people that have hurt me that I don't like in a really strong way, but I'd never wish badness on them. I would never wish badness on them because, like, why? Why be revengeful to someone? Like, even if I look at my own bully as I was growing up, or bullies, okay? They're sad people who maybe had a sad past, and instead of turning it around and making it a better future for themselves and their children and etc., they didn't. They chose to repeat the same crappy behavior, or sometimes some people are just like badly behaved, like trolls. They're just badly behaved. They get off on being nasty. They get off on other people's emotional outbursts. They make them feel powerful and strong. It's pretty sick, right? Would you want to be that? I know I wouldn't be. I'd rather get excited about, oh, that special interest, I just hit the peak of it. I just nailed it. That's where my kryptonite is. So just feel sorry for them, because To be honest, that's their problem. They really are sad people, guys. They really are. Because look at the effort they go to. I know that since my last platform to this platform, the lengths that a troll has gone to, it's like, oh, you're salty. Wow. You really need to get some help, because I'm not your problem. You have a problem, okay? I'm not the problem for you. Just want to let you know that, whoever you are, I'm not your problem. You've got something going on inside of you that's connected to something in your history that's making you have these mentalities and the way of looking at things. It's distorted and delusional and totally weird, to be honest. So I do highly recommend that. That's just the third eye, that you do seek help for that. Because I'm not kidding. If you're a troll, if you're a bully, if you're someone that gets off on power, you have problems, and you need to now admit to that and go and get help. And remember, guys, okay, autistics, and this is just for the ones that can handle hearing this kind of thing, sociopaths exist among us. Not all of them kill, okay? They exist. And they're out there. And they get off on your misery. That's why they do what they do. If you're religious, you might call them the devil. If you're not religious, and you know what happens to them, so don't worry about that. Judgment day comes. But basically, if you're not religious, to think of it this way. Karma. We all know there's a karma thing. Karma train coming, karma train coming. People will always get it back. It's probably why they're doing it to you, to be honest, is because in their current life, like in their life while they're doing it to you, someone's probably doing it to them, and they're just like, oh, I'll go home and I'm gonna stick it to my focused target person. They always have a target person, and then when they're sick of that target person, then let's move on to another one. It's really quite sad. And the rest of us are excelling at creating new hobbies, interests, special interests. We're good at that, aren't we, autistics? And just getting things done. So I wanted to make sure that what I learn, as I learned it progressively over a long period of time, and being someone who's speaking outwardly to the whole world, you get every troll that there is, even though I've only got one. It's the same one all the time. Bit boring, isn't it? Can't I have a different one? You know, with a different perspective of different troll style. Trolling. They're going to keep trolling. So basically, it's not like it's 1% of my problems on my channel, but I'm just saying, when you put yourself out there, they want to shut you up. So you know what you do? Keep speaking. Then you do this, you keep speaking directly to them, and you go, thought you won, didn't you? You just give me topics that will help other people that are treated badly by other trolls and other bullies and other mean people too. So just know that sadly, these people exist. You either go no contact or controlled contact. There's no other option. Okay? Malignancy, just like in cancer, some of these people are malignant at their behaviors, meaning they will never be able to change themselves. That's really sad. Imagine that. At least we've got options to go, I was an asshole. Oh my God, I was an asshole. I need to somehow apologize to that person, and I need to make it up to this person, and I need to fix that. Okay? They can't do that. How sad is that? Some of them are not malignant. They can change. And it's a choice. So if they do, they do. And if they don't, they don't. They've chosen that. So that's the psychology on that one. So I thought I'd just let you guys know, because I know that at the moment I'm seeing it. I'm not talking about myself here. I'm seeing it. TikTok, YouTube, everyone that's big in autism. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Disability, keep going, keep going. They're not going to win. Times have changed and they're going to keep changing. And, you know, it's a bit like with communication. I studied that heavily because I actually wanted to be a communications lecturer. Funny that, being an autistic. That's why I was really enjoying my communication classes at Tafen University. But what I can tell you is that when you change your communication style, so let's say you're like me. When you were 20, you wouldn't say boo. No, wouldn't say that even, right? I was pretty much a non-verbal to most people, even in my early, like from adulthood, from 18 right up until found my voice about 25, I reckon. And it just got stronger. It was weak, but it got stronger. So basically in my early 20s and 18 onwards, I was just passive, being a good girl, passive, wouldn't say boo. And then I just, obviously, too many bad things happened, because that's what happens when you're passive. I turned assertive because I was given the skills through formal education, tertiary education, as most autistic girls do. And I realised I can't be assertive now. I've read my self-development books along the way, and doing the formal studies, I thought, right, I'll start to be assertive. I'm understanding this now. I think I can do this. And I did that. And you get this thing called a pushback. Look it up. There's a pushback. They want you to go back to being the old person you used to be. So if you were masking as an autistic, they will force you to go back to masking, even if it was doing you damage, making you sicker because you couldn't talk to the doctors, whether it was making you like not defend yourself and people were walking all over you because you're masking, because you want to be good and friendly and fit in, and you know that if you say anything assertive that the person will just have an emotional breakdown, because some people don't like that pushback because they're used to you being passive. It's the same with autistics. We get the same thing. When we stick up for ourselves, we get the same pushback. And sadly, particularly females, misogyny is still real for some people. Even from women. Women are delivering misogyny. Yep. In fact, kind of a little bit more than the guys. So, I hope this has helped. So this is about autism dramas, you know, things we have to deal with. And it's mainly because of what I've heard a lot of the big advocates for autism online on different platforms. I've really wanted to speak about it because I really do relate of my evolution of my adulthood